Oh, hey, how you guys doing? What's going on? We're gonna be talking today. Welcome to a real brief, like totally off the cuff stream, and we're gonna talk about it, folks. We are gonna talk about. He was like, Jay, what are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about my thoughts on the upcoming launch event. Someone's already there. Maybe that's no. Someone thumbs up. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, guys? Let me find the stream here. I see some people coming in. Let me see if I can find my own stream here so I can let me see, how can I do this? Let me turn the volume down here. Let's find my own stream. I appreciate you guys coming in for this stream real briefly here. Off the cuff, obviously, I wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit, and we're going to discuss a few things. How you got Hawks? What's going on? Hey guys, can you give me an audio check? I can't find my stream yet. You're gonna get a thumbs up if the audio is good. Let's see here. I got to get back into my groove of streaming and making sure that everything is good. So I'll wait to see if it's streaming here. Is audio good? Audio okay? Audio's good. Okay, great. All right. So it's a shame I can't even find my own stream. Thank you guys. I want to talk to you guys before I have a meeting that I got to go to. So I want to talk to you guys before I get that meeting because I do have a few things. I didn't know how I was going to title this stream because again, I'm just getting back into all my streaming things here. So I wanted to. I got you up on the computer this time. I didn't do my phone like I streamed with my phone last time, and I didn't want to do that again. I wanted to be able to see because my bifocals do not adjust all that well when the font gets smaller. Sorry about that. I hit the camera, but I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about a few things today. Um, the next video that's coming out is on my iPhone 16 Pro, a new case that I have, a limited edition case. And I filmed that video with the OnePlus 13. So I want to go ahead and put that out there. So I'm going to say hello to the people in the chat really briefly, and then I'll start the conversation off. And you guys can put any questions that you want to put in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. And we'll get the conversation going. Maybe I'll stream for the next hour like I did last time. And maybe we can get my streaming game back up like I used to stream. So, Joseph, Hawks TV, Red, all you regulars are here. Barry, my man Barry's here. Gian is here. Cubs, see a few people in here that I recognize. Thank you guys for stopping in, and I am excited to have you. Again, off the cuff stream. I like to do it this. Your expectations are really low. Don't have don't have very high expectations for this stream. So I have to go ahead and address the Micah. What's going on, man? Address the elephant in the room. Obviously, the majority of the content that you have seen is on this beautiful device right here. This is my OnePlus 13. I know a lot of people in this stream are enjoying this device. Like this has just been a spectacular experience with. I mean, I can't put this thing down. It has just been amazing. The camera quality is always something that I harp on phones because there's really not much to go on nowadays. All phones are pretty much good. Most phones are pretty much solid. So I don't think there's been a bad release, like a horrible release, in a long time. I don't think there's been a horrible release in a long time. I mean, just total flop type release. I don't think I've seen that in a very long time. And I don't anticipate that I'll see that anytime soon. It's got to be something like catastrophic, like really bad for it to really flop because by today's standards, it is super easy to bring out an affordable phone, and it's really easy to bring out a phone that's going to have a big battery and a big screen. So it seems like nowadays that's what people want: big screen, big battery, and really good cameras. And overall, most phones can produce those types of stats. But when you talk about a phone like the OnePlus, oof, this particular phone, man, if you don't have it, and you're still saying, I'm thinking about getting it. Mm, uh, I could go so far as to say that the quality on that phone. Remember how good LG's phones were? Shout out to uh, Joseph. Yeah, I do miss LG phones as well. LG was kind of like that standard to me, who started this uphill climb for 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 making the cameras popular. Um, they started with their cameras had things that other cameras didn't have, especially like portrait mode. I believe LG was like the official one to start doing really promoting portrait mode. And they obviously reached out to me, and I did some work with them. And I just really think LG, they threw in the towel a little too soon, but they have to go from a business standpoint. Is it the right thing to do? And the right thing to do was to throw in the towel and move on to something else and remain relevant in a lot of areas. But OnePlus uh, definitely has taken on the reins. The cameras never really like were horrible on the OnePlus, but ever since they partnered with Hasselblad, you got to give them credit. It's been amazing. No, I don't use Gcam anymore. Earl, shout out to Earl. I appreciate you stopping in. I don't use Gcam anymore because the reason I don't use Gcam anymore is because I have multiple devices and I'm going to use those devices as they come. And I want to see how well they're going to do as they come. So that's the only reason I don't use Gcam anymore. I used to be a heavy user of Gcam, and I just don't do it. Like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, if you missed it, these phones are just so good. Phones are just so good right out of the box. I don't have to do anything to them really, and I could appreciate that. So I see a question here. Zokan to go. Jay, what's up? I just ordered the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Are you still thinking about getting it? I am. I am thinking about getting it, but my original Fold, my Pixel Fold sitting right over there, I like it a lot. I like the design, but I like the new design a little bit better as far as the way it looks. But it's it's just a pricing thing for me. There's so many good phones out there, and to me, this phone right here is the best foldable that I've held in a long time. And for people that own both of these, I try not to go on what someone else says. But the OnePlus Fold or OnePlus Open, excuse me, it is amazing. And so people who have the Fold 9 Pro and the OnePlus Open, a lot of them prefer this phone. I don't know why. I'm not saying that's the reason I'm not getting it, but it just comes down to money. I bought every other Pixel, and I still have my original Pixel Fold, and I'm just not ready to part ways with that yet and stop using it. I will get the Pixel Pro Fold, the 9, just not at this moment. I'm super excited about it. If I can get a good deal on it, then obviously, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get it and start using it. But I've always been the content creator that I don't have to be first for everything. And now that phone is in the market and all the influencers have said their say, maybe I will grab it and try to work on a small review for you guys on it. It's still on the table. It never left the table. I actually did an order. If you remember, I originally ordered, but this year all of my Google orders got fumbled. They dropped the ball. They gave me things about my payment, and then they gave me all kind of reasons, and they just kept canceling my orders and reinstating them, and I ended up going to Best Buy to even get the Pixels. For some reason, my orders through the website didn't work. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm still Team Pixel to the core. Let me get another question here. Joseph Erickson, appreciate you being in, man. My question is, what do you think Samsung has lined up for the new? And that's why I was going to talk about that today too. What I think now, one thing I did notice is I have my S25 lineup cases sitting right here, and I noticed that the S25 Plus, if that's what it's going to be called, it is not any different in size and shape. I was able to put my S24 Plus right inside of one of those cases, and it fit perfectly. So I'm hoping that there is something significant about the Plus model, because I really like the Plus model of the S24 lineup. And I think it's the smart purchase for a lot of people, not the Ultra. You could save a ton of money by going with the Plus. The Plus is such a slept-on device. You think about when they gave it the Quad HD display, they took a big hit on their Ultra lineup, but people weren't paying attention. There's a lot of people out there who have the Ultra just because it says it's the most promoted and it's got the S Pen. But in reality, the Plus is a much better purchase for a lot of people, I think. It feels better in the hand. It's got a ginormous screen. It's Quad HD. It's got better battery. It's phenomenal. So it's that slept-on phone that I think some people just somehow weren't paying attention. A lot of people have it, but there's a lot of people that don't have it that have the Ultra that I feel should really have the Plus because they're not using the S Pen. 99% of the people I talk to about the S Pen, they never even pulled it out. And I'm like, well, why'd you spend the extra money and get the, I don't know. Drop your questions down below. I definitely really want to answer questions in this stream. Now we're going to talk about not just OnePlus, but I want to talk about Samsung. So I think Samsung is going to have, there's there's supposed to be like a slim version. And based on what I have sitting right here, I don't see any indication that Samsung has a slim device for the US market. Typically when we get items in for review, I'll see everything ahead of time. Like, so content creators and reviewers know that when something drops, most of the OEMs they'll just send you a dummy unit or they'll tell you what the names of the devices are. And I didn't get any indication that there was going to be a Galaxy S25 Slim model or something like that because we're hearing those rumors for the upcoming iPhone, but as far as Samsung goes, they might try to do one of these aha moments and really hammer home with, hey, here's a surprise device. I don't know what they're going to do. But what I do know is that I don't have any indication that there's going to be like this special slim device from Samsung by a long shot. There's nothing. I don't see anything. So, but what I can tell you is about I've shown you cases on the S25 Ultra, how it's shaped a lot better than the current one. So I'm getting the S25 Ultra just because I can. And they're going to give great trade-in values on the S25 lineup. They're touting some. If you didn't register, you definitely should register. I have a link on my profile. Let me see if I can find that link real quick. I have a link on my profile letting you guys know that, hey, you definitely should at least register because you're going to be able to stop this so it doesn't. Okay, it's playing good. You're going to be able to get $50 off, I think it is, and now they've changed it to 100. There you go. You can register there, I believe. Shout out to Anik Lalani. I appreciate the super chat. It's been years since I got a super chat. Big fan. Do you have rugged smartphone recommendations? I do. I don't want to leave camera, but basically, I'll go into my account again and I'll tell you a recommendation for one that I highly recommend. It's actually sitting right over here, and well, I won't leave the stream, but basically, 8849 is the I recommend them for your rugged phones, and also recommend AGM. They are some of the best rugged phones because a lot of rugged phones are not in the U.S. market, and I review a lot of rugged phones. If you're new to the channel, I review a lot of rugged phones, and I actually like to use rugged phones depending on where I'm going. And 8849 is just got to be the best. They have phones for projectors. Hold on. I'm sorry. This is the Shark 3, and I've reviewed this phone. I highly recommend phones like this. This is a quad-issue display, 512 gigs of storage, 20 plus gigs of RAM. This is a hot phone, and it won't break that easy. You can drop. I've thrown this thing all over the place. You can take this wherever, and it's actually, for me, it's not that heavy. But for a lot of people, it's bigger than the average phone because it's got almost a 24,000 milliamp hour battery inside. But once you start to use something regularly, that muscle memory kicks in, and you don't even feel it anymore. Then you'll notice it when you give it to somebody else, and they say, "Oh my gosh, this is a brick," and you're like, "I think it feels good." But the 8843 or 49 lineup, that's my top recommendation for rugged phones. And that one right there is a 5G phone, not just any rugged phone. Shout out to Michael Peppertech. I appreciate you. I'm gonna get some more questions. Do you think that they will, and he's talking about Samsung, do you think that Samsung will ditch the base S lineup like they did for the Tab S? I don't know. I think the S lineup is their bread and butter. I don't know. I think the baseline, that is their bread and butter. And the only reason, it's no disrespect to people out there buying this stuff, but I think the only reason we see more people with the more expensive phones is because of the trade-in program and because they can get it through their carriers at no cost, or they pay monthly, or they give them to you free if you stay with the carrier. Because I don't think most people spend money like a lot of creators do. There are a small group of people out there who I know personally, they buy every phone and they're not creators. But the reality is, the only reason a lot of people have all these expensive phones is because they can finance them through their carriers, or they have the ability. They don't want to pay full cost for them, so they don't have to. And that's what's kind of driving that market of people always buying another iPhone, or always buying. They've got these trade-in programs to keep getting the person's money. And so it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just that I think that's the reason why we have so many phones out there at these high-end prices. Free Steve says, "What's a good Android phone under $600 for moon photography and good lens attachment?" So there's no Android phone out there that's going to tackle that for you right off the rip. You're going to have a lens attachment casing system, and I've definitely reviewed those before on the channel. You could go with an iPhone and then get the iPhone attachment system. You'll scan my channel, you'll see these things on there. But I think that would be Samsung. You don't need a lens attachment if you just want to shoot pictures of the moon. Or you can do like Glenn. Shout out to Glenn. He's in the private chat. He has his phone attached to a telescope, and he takes beautiful pictures of the moon. So you don't technically need a phone that can do it. Get you a nice high-powered telescope, you'll do well. Yeah, I do too, Hawks. I recommend people sign up because it's just a gimme. They're giving you a couple dollars off just because, and so it hurts no one to sign up. Do you recommend Xiaomi, Oppo? Of course I do. Free Steve, I will always recommend them. My channel was based around those phones before they got popular. I was like one of the first creators, and I'm not taking credit for anything. I'm just saying, if you look at my channel and you watch years ago, for those who are actually watching years ago, I was one of the few people importing Xiaomi phones, saying on the internet that they were better than the current phones in the US, like Samsung and Apple. And people thought I was crazy. But now they're super popular, and now everybody's on that game. And I'm not on that game anymore because I don't like all the infomercial type. It's nothing against influencers, but I don't like all that infomercial stuff where they're not actually using the phones. They get it for a week, it's given to them, and that's it. And then they just put it down and go back to whatever phone they're going with. And I know it's hard to keep up with using these phones, but I just don't think a real review can happen in a week. I just don't believe in that. So that's why you have influencers, if that's what you want to see. I try to use the phones for at least 3 to 6 months, and I give you tons of videos on them, sparking your interest and answering your questions on video. Looking for some more questions here. Oh, that phone from camping. Yeah. The tanks are the best. You're gonna go with. And I think if you want a phone that can pretty much handle, you're gonna have to go with 8849, which is the tank series basically. This is their latest one. This is the Shark 3, and this thing is incredible because it is a flagship. If you want to call it a flag, like if you want to label a flagship, like I hold up and talk about the specs on the OnePlus, quad display, 520 gigs of storage, things like that. Lots of RAM. This phone has it, and it has a 3-nanometer chip, I believe, or a 4-nanometer chip. Powerful phone, it's beautiful too. I think I'm when it comes to smartphones, I don't just pay for my domain every month, smartphoneconversations.com, just to talk about phones in the United States. That's the one reach that I try to do because I know there's a wide variety of people watching me from other countries. And so that is why I have a partnership and a relationship with 8849, like a lot of creators online. You don't see a lot of the influencers reviewing phones like this because they think people are not interested. But at least I would assume, I'm not going to say they're not, but I would assume they don't think people are interested, but that they are. Shout out to Ghost95 for the super chat. We needed a live stream. Yeah, man, I want to definitely do more live streams. I'm going to do my best to do more live streams. I'm trying. I just enjoy my freedom outside of screen time. I enjoy family. I enjoy pulling the cars out and just going for just my personal life. I value it a lot, and I value family a lot. And I do post a lot of content online. But that's because obviously I don't work for anybody. I'm free to do what I want. So I have the time most of the time, but I do like doing live streams. And, I know I'm not as consistent as I used to be back in the day. I've been on YouTube since 2006, and I used to do a lot of live streams. Entering into the chat now, my Project 13. I miss streaming with this guy, man. We had a lot of fun, but YouTube has changed. And there's a different element of YouTube right now. Obviously, we've gotten older, believe it or not, almost 20 years on YouTube. Obviously, I've aged, and so I'm not that young popular face anymore. And so I accept that. I'm okay with that. I'm going to stay in my lane. But I don't bring what the younger generation bring, all the tap dancing and shows, and I just gonna sit here and talk. So I don't have that flair like I used to when I was younger, but I do enjoy streaming, and I will try to bring you as many streams. I was going to try to do it once a week, but again, I want you to set your expectations really low because I don't want you to see me do a stream that you don't think I did well on, and you have this high expectation for me. And my expectations with these streams are just to unwind with you guys, and because I like to talk to you guys in the live chat. I can do a premiere, but doing a live stream like real time, I love doing this. It's just that I have to find time to do it with you guys, and I really appreciate getting on a live stream because I wish I could do a round table and invite like 10 people on that are not creators, and we just talk. And it's not just about me; it's about how you guys feel about some of the devices I review and things I can improve on. Even after almost 20 years, I don't know it all. Michael Joseph says, what do you think about Motorola? Do you think they're going to start coming? I think Motorola will never die off. They have like I don't know if they'll. I can't say they won't ever die off. But they have a big footprint. Just like BlackBerry may not produce phones anymore, devices, but BlackBerry is one of the biggest companies still to this day. They're just quietly existing and getting their funding from enterprise and other things, but on the backside. But Motorola probably can't leave because they have such a good foundation with carriers, cell phone carriers, and it's not just smartphones. It's the flip phones are still selling, and it's not just the United States. I've come to the realization that a lot of people think that we are the world. No pun intended about the song, but the world is bigger than the United States, and so a lot of the products that are leading the innovation, they're actually not in the United States. But I think Motorola has a good footprint, a good foundation, and I don't think they're going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Now I could be way off. They're just throwing the towel, but their phones are good. But I think they're making their claim to fame through carriers because there's not a lot of people that brag about, oh, I got this unlocked. Like their launch events aren't really that big in the US. And I don't know. Hey, Michael, let's get a question here. It says, what do you think is the OnePlus Open's main drawback? And if I'm correct, you prefer it over the Z Fold 6. You are absolutely right. My Z Fold 6 is sitting off camera there. I think the one drawback I might have for this phone, what would it be? What would be my main drawback? Now that I've been using this for a while, I actually talked about it, I believe, is this back camera module it's kind of it's annoying to me now. And then now that I'm using the OnePlus 13, this camera bump is not annoying because it's not as protruded on there. You see? It doesn't protrude as much. You see that? So I think a drawback is just most of the time my drawbacks are all physical. And this camera bump didn't annoy me at first, but it definitely annoys me now. And so when I use it, sometimes I'll put a case on it just to kind of try to eliminate it. But hardware wise, this phone was almost perfect. It's just great. And a big factor is that Hasselblad partnership. I really like it. I really like it. And it's just that is one of the best foldables. And I like my Z Fold 6. The hardware on the Z Fold 6 is pretty much on par with this phone. The Z Fold 6 obviously feels better in the hand because it's a lot more narrow. But the OnePlus Open, I don't have to open it if I don't want to. Funny thing is, somebody said in the last OnePlus Open video that I didn't even open it, and I just laughed. I thought it was the best thing ever. I'm not perfect by any means, and I was pretty impressed with that comment. I just had to laugh. I was like, wow, they are so right. I went back and looked, and I was like, I didn't really open it a lot, if at all. So yeah, I think that drawback would probably just be like the hardware itself. The Z Fold 6 hardware around the camera module is smaller, and it just feels better. But they can resolve that by making it like this phone next. So we don't know what they're going to do though. Let me go to the next question here. How would you rate your camera? How would you rate the camera of the OnePlus Open? Well, OnePlus 13. So I just put out a video review of the OnePlus 13 on the cameras, and I speak volumes in that review. If you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. I think the OnePlus 13's cameras are in my top 3. They are, and I said that in that video. They are just amazing. The next video that you see, and I'll just go ahead and show you now. It's on this limited edition case, the Year of the Snake from Pitaka. This is coming out probably this week. And I recorded that with the OnePlus 13, and I recorded it in Dolby Vision, no external microphones, nothing. So it's Pro XDR content coming out of this phone right here, and it's simply because of the Hasselblad partnership. This phone is simply amazing, not just for the cameras. I think the rating of it is subjective, obviously, but I'm trying to be as objective as I can. And because I have a lot of phones, so I know that's why people ask me these questions, but it's in my top 3 for sure, based on what I have here. And I see all the comments, oh, hey, the Vivos, the Xiaomis, you're forgetting, you don't know what you're talking about. But, again, people forget that that's where I kind of started, is imports. Because at the time, I didn't want to invest in these very expensive phones, and I didn't want to do a bunch of carrier contracts and stuff. They wouldn't let you buy them straight out. And if they did, they were ridiculously priced at the time. We're talking about years ago, 10, 15 years ago. It was different. You have subsidies on the phones. And so it was just a different game back then. But back then, I was willing to import phones that were $120 that were killing the phones in the United States. So I rate the OnePlus 13's cameras in my top 3. Beautiful. Let's see. Still a good man. I saw. Yeah, we got some age on us, man. We are doing our doggone thing. Are you going to stream upcoming games for 2025? Which games are you talking about, Prince? What's going on? Let me know which one you're talking about. HTC, right? That's definitely another one that I missed too. And I still have some HTC phones. I try to. They're actually behind me in that cabinet back there because I want to keep them in pristine condition. Hey, the camera bump on the things moving fast. As a camera bump is the main drawback. That's a good. Oh yeah, definitely, Micah. It's a phenomenal. I mean, the OnePlus Open. I speak praises of that phone. I mean, they didn't even release another one, and it's just incredible how impressive the OnePlus lineup has become to me. Because I've always liked OnePlus phones, but the camera quality was like that main letdown years ago. So if I had to choose from Samsung Fold or OnePlus Fold Open Fold, well, right now it's obviously going to be the OnePlus Open because I have the Z Fold 6. I don't have the 9 Pro Fold. And if we're talking about Google Pixel's OG Fold, that phone doesn't measure up in camera quality at all. So, yeah, the vegan leather on this phone is absolutely stunning. And people definitely are missing out I mean, I know people have the option to choose what they wanted, but I chose this one not because it's just so much the color, but I wanted to feel what this felt like because I heard great things about it. And obviously, I don't like the polished sides on here, but they're not as pronounced as some of the other phones that are polished. So, and this is how I carry my phone. I mean, I know I have this case that I bought as well, but I like to feel the phones right out unless it's an ultra thin case. That's the only time I like to do it. So, Sean P, what's going on, Sean? I definitely miss the OnePlus 7 Pro as well. Sean is impressed with the OnePlus 13's battery. It's incredible. It's amazing, the technology for the battery with the stacked batteries, and companies are just lying to us saying that they can't get it. This is a 6,000 milliamp battery, and you can put a bigger battery in there, but some companies just don't want to, and they're choosing to make up all these excuses why they can't do it. But OnePlus has showed their behinds by bringing out this device, hands down. They showed their behinds. They showed out. They're putting a lot of phones on blast. And so Samsung is really going to have to bring it because, again, I can't stress enough, the camera quality coming from that OnePlus, hands down, top notch. Top notch. Yeah, Sean, family's good. Hope you're doing well as well. I won't stop talking about the rugged. I hear you, man. I hear you. Doom, the dark. I'm not. Oh, I'm not a gamer at all. I don't even know what those games are. My youngest daughter, though, the youngest 20-year-old, when she's 22 or something, she's gonna be 23. Youngest child that I have, she's a woman. I'm not gonna call her a child. She gave me a what is it called? Twitch, Nintendo Switch. She gave me one of those things. So she gave me like this OLED Switch, Twitch, whatever it's called, and the handheld thing. And I've been kind of messing with that. I didn't. I had everybody in the family, not everybody, but most of the people when you have children, you're gonna always take care of them no matter how old they are. These cats are 30 years old and 29 years. They still want stuff, and they all wanted what is it? PlayStation 5, limited edition PlayStation 5. They all wanted. Like one day we were just chatting, and we were just hanging out. I love hanging out with them because I gotta maintain. You need to hang out with your children. It doesn't matter how old they are. And the ones I was hanging out with the 28-year-old and the 22-year-old at the time, and we were hanging out, and they started talking about, man, this PlayStation 5. I don't game. They were like, this PlayStation 5, man, it's gonna be crazy. And they wanted some special edition one, so I surprised them and bought everyone a PlayStation 5 Limited or whatever it was called. I just bought it for them, and my youngest daughter, she was cool, man. She said, "Hey, daddy, you want to Switch or Twitch, whatever it's called?" I was like, "Sure, I'll take one, but it's got to have a good screen on it." She said, "I got the OLED for you," and I was like, "Whoa, okay, thanks." So I've been messing around with that Twitch with the big screen on it, with the handles that come off and the little mounting bracket, and I'm playing simple games like pool and stuff like that. But it's very cool. But I don't game, so I have no idea what these games are that you're naming. But I'll have to check them out. But they game, the people, all of them, all of my children game, and they have all these big gaming rooms. They have some sweet setups too. I just kind of bought them those things, and they wanted them. I didn't care when it comes to certain things. I know it's not something they need, but it was something that we were just chatting and they wanted. So I'm going to surprise everybody, and I would share that, but it's a private moment. But I videotape their responses with hidden cameras. It was a lot of fun. They were totally caught off guard because we were just talking that day, and then a week later, I showed up and bought everyone their own individual because they're on their own. They're grown, so I bought them all um, the limited PS5s, and I bought them whatever games they talked about. I remembered everything. I had a good mental note of it, so I bought them all the games. I got them headphones each. I got them controllers, whatever the stuff they were talking about. I got it for them. So she repaid me back, and she gave me a Twitch, a little white OLED. I was like, this is cool. So I'm gonna try to get more. I didn't do a video on it because again, there's a lot of private moments. Like you don't know that I do. So I try to keep my private life as private as possible, but I don't mind sharing because the last time I put my daughters on video, not you in this stream, but you guys disgusted me. The internet disgusted me because my children are beautiful. When you have mixed race children, you don't have to have mixed race children, but mine are Hispanic and chocolate, I would say, and they're beautiful. I have beautiful daughters, and I was disgusted by what I saw. The comments, I had to turn video comments off on those things back in the day, but I I like to have a really strong private life, and I just hate sharing so much. But I'm a real person, so I just kind of I'm like this in person. If you ever see me in person, for those that have met me in person, I'm just like this, man. Let's just kick it, have a good time. And that's why I like to stream with no expectations anymore. Because again, I have gotten older. Some of you guys are watching me, but I'm still me. So yeah, that's what I did for them. Maybe I'll do a video on the Twitch thing. Maybe I'll do a video on that. If you want to see me do that, again, I'm not that good at it. I'm still trying like Mario. And I bought like 10 or 15 games just to see, what it would be like because she gave it to me, so she got it for me. So I was like, I'm gonna buy. She showed me how to set it up, and she showed me how to do some things. And I found some store or something like that. And I started buying some games. I probably spent way more money than I should have, but let's scroll up and see here. Did I miss anything? Microsoft Duo. Oh wow. Let me go back a little bit further because I see some. What are your favorite budget phones? My buddy Dwayne Mims. Shout out to Mims. That's my boy Mims. Loves his CFM phone. I don't know what the CMF phone is, but more of a Moto G stylus. I would recommend a lot of. They're sitting off camera. What's the brand? for really good budget phones with good cameras and good screens. It's the one that has the Dolby Vision screens. Oh my gosh, they would kill me if they not TCL. I would recommend TCL phones because they have the upgraded screens and good battery, and they're just great phones. They have the Vision software in all their phones because they make TVs, and I would recommend TCL phones because they're very affordable, and they have great battery on them. Question is Microsoft Duo, the phone that came out with. I would hope they do another phone, but I would want it to be Windows. They could bring that same OG body. Where's mine at? Sitting right here on my desk. They could bring this same body right here and do a Windows version of this. It will fly off the shelves probably. It would probably fly off the shelves, no doubt. So there's a lot of phones out there that were a miss, even though they didn't have to be. Samsung's pre-orders, I don't know what they're talking about. Getting emails here, but there's a lot of phones out there that are budget-friendly phones, but they don't get the support because they're not like mainstream brand. They're not paying for a lot of marketing like some of these other companies is. Yep, phone companies can do better. Batteries. The S25 Ultra, I'm getting that, like I said, just because I can. Um, I I'm gonna like the shape of it because remember my complaint was with the sharp corners of the S23, S22, S24. It was the sharp corners. They didn't need to do that. And so now they've rounded them off, and that's going to be one of them. And it's sad how they do us though, man. But the S25 Ultra is going to have to compete with the OnePlus lineup. It There's hands down because I'm going to recommend more than likely the S25 Plus if that's what it's called. But the Ultra is just that money grab that they know where people they're going to hype that one up. But I'm going to get it, and I want to see what that new hardware is working with. So I think the hype is real over some corners. You're right, yeah. I'm looking for some. Put your comments in here, man, or questions. I love to answer your questions. Let me find another question here. Okay, from Serge. What's going on, Serge? Yeah, Tara, you gotta have fun with your family, man. Like screen time is important, but it's not that important. If I don't put out a video for a month, I don't care. Family is when you realize what life is really about. This is fun though. Don't get me wrong. And I've always maintained the same attitude about it. Once I stop having fun, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this big exit video. Oh my God, I appreciate your time. I'm just gonna stop. Yeah, I'm going on with my life, B. You know what I'm saying? It's because I know I do videos, but you're not obligated to be here. Like not you in particular, but people aren't obligated to come to this channel. You're here because you want to be. So I'm not going to do this big exit video. I'm just going to stop. You know what I'm saying? And I'll move on. But Serge, a good day to you too as well. Do you think the new U.S. government will have a say in the future tech after seeing Tech Bros at the inauguration today? I don't know who Tech Bros is, and I don't care who was at the inauguration. I did watch the inauguration. I think for my age and what I've learned about being here, as long as I've been on this planet and been able to contribute to society in a positive way, you need to remember, if you're a younger person, that everything is never what it seems. And since I am military personnel prior, war veteran, and I've had my stint in law enforcement as well, I will have to tell you that there's more things that go on. What you see is never what you see. Like you said, like they said back in the day in 1992, what you see on the tape is not what you really see on the tape. Rodney King, for people that were born back then, that's exactly what they said. It was like, I think I see you beating the heck out of this guy on video, and you didn't know that you were being videotaped. So just apply that rule to anything you think you see. I did question why Jeff and all these guys were on stage, because when I was younger, the presidential inaugurations didn't look like that. It's just like a big fancy show right now. Like the presidential things that were going on, like Kamala Harris had people, Megan the Stallion and Beyonce, all these different people on. What the frick does that have to do with the presidency? What does that have to do with foreign policy? What does it have to do with anything going on in our country? I don't care anything about Beyonce. I don't care anything about uh, the Stallion. I don't care anything about these people. Um, they're not contributing to, other than probably taking money from all the money they got paid to be on stage. I don't care about any of that. I care about what's going on in the world. We were having a conversation. The Hawks. We were having a conversation offline in the chat about some things that are going on about this TikTok thing. Yeah, it's never what you think it is. Everything is never what it appears to be. Just remember that. What's going on, Forbes? Forbes, go check out the chat and you'll see what I'm talking about. Big Raf TV says, you remind me of my dad right now. He's retired. He's 7 from the Army. I was in the Army too. Yep. So you already know I'm retired as well. Yep. I was artillery. I don't know what your dad's MOS was, but I was a 13 Bravo. I used to drive M109s and I did hand-to-hand combat as well. And I just did all the weapons you could possibly think of. Let me see. Here's one. And the chat kind of moved. It was going kind of fast, and I tried to catch up. Sorry if I missed some of you guys' comments, but it jumped ahead. I guess a lot of people were talking. So I'm trying to find your questions. I only found your channel because I was searching OnePlus 13 videos. Oh wow, so you're new. How do I feel about Flossie Carter? Floss is my man, 100 grand. We have hung out in person before at events. We've been at multiple events together. I don't feel anything because I know him. So he's a cool cat. That's my man. I'm rocking with 100 grand. What's going on, Jeff Rowe? I see you there. Hey, Jay, I just got on. Not sure if you have already discussed this topic, but I was just wondering if is the speakers on the OnePlus significantly better than the 112? On the one on the 12, I don't know. I didn't buy the 12, but the speakers on the OnePlus 13, they're good. You're not gonna be just blown away, but for a smartphone, they're solid. So take that for what it is. Yeah, man, the Eagles. I'm disappointed in my Green Bay Packers. My wife is an Eagles fan. Yeah, we just didn't show up when we were supposed to show up, but we got next year, and she is obviously extremely happy. Yeah. No, I'm not I did the Eagles thing back in the day because my wife was an Eagles fan, but I've always been a fan of Brett Favre. I've been a fan of Aaron Rodgers for years, but I decided to I said, I'm going to man up. We're going to have to fight in this house because I'm going with my team. So Green Bay has always been my underlining factor, but my wife is extremely happy right now because, yeah, her team is winning, whatever. I'm still going to talk trash to her, though. Let's see here. What are your thoughts on this potential Motorola ban? Haven't even heard of it, Chris. Like I said, I try to have it. I know I'm a tech reviewer, but I don't know everything. Like some of the things you guys tell me, like those video games and stuff you're talking about earlier, I have no idea what those are. I didn't even know what the CMF was they was talking about earlier. The least amount of screen time, I am totally for that. But I hadn't even heard about the Motorola ban, so I have to look that up. I appreciate you keeping me abreast of that and giving me some game. Yeah. Savage Science. So what's up, Savage? Man, what's going on, Savage? I didn't even know you was here, man. U.S. Air Force. Yes. He was a network administrator. I went to college for micro applications and networking back in 1992. I started in 1990, but because I went to college while I was in the military, then I got out and I kept going to college as well. iPhone needs a new design this year, says Surge. The rinse and repeat since the 12 series is getting boring. Not sure about the upcoming slim design. I'm pretty excited about the if there is a slim design iPhone, I'm excited for it. I still want Apple to do a folding device. I think once Apple does it, it's going to be game changing. And Apple, people follow Apple for like all the wrong reasons. There's so many companies out there. Like Samsung is a true innovator, and sometimes they just wait. But Apple waits longer, and then Apple will release something, and then it's the greatest thing ever, even though we've seen it like for the last 4 years. Sometimes it's like that, man, and there's really nothing that we can do to change a person's mind. It's called influence. and people are influenced by Apple, and this is just what it is. And so companies, it appears that a lot of companies are afraid to make choices. Samsung was like the number one innovator, and then LG came along and started innovating, and then they just kind of follow Apple right now. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because if you're borrowing someone else's ideas, obviously, they did something right. So, um, no harm, no foul. Even Steve Jobs said that. Who knows the Steve Jobs quote? I'm not going to say it. Who knows the Steve Jobs quote? If you were born and you were old enough, some of you guys are just going to Google it, but some of you guys weren't born yet. But who knows the Steve Jobs quote? Put it in the chat. And he said this about taking other people's stuff. Like it's nothing wrong with it, you know what I mean? But tell me the exact quote. I know some of you guys are going to Google it, because some of you guys were little, probably, but yeah, tell me what that quote is. I know what it is, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. Let's get to some more questions. The quote was about stealing, just so you know, stealing other people's ideas. That's what the quote was. Now, he said like a little paragraph. He said it in an interview. I guess I can tell you that much. And it was about people. It was about taking other people's ideas. He said, "Great people." That's the clue I'll give you. Apple did change the game with the camera controls, but it's okay. I don't know the last time that I've used my camera. If you're talking about the 16 lineup, I don't know the last time I've clicked on that. It now has integrated the search feature on it. So if you long press it, it'll go into a search for you, and you can search what it is. Like circle to search on Android, well, you can just long press that button, and you can scan whatever, and you'll find the item that you're looking for. Let me see. I'm in the Air Force right now. Okay, 18 months until retirement. Hey, you're gonna love. Well, I can't say you're gonna love retirement, because now you have to occupy your mind. There you go, Hawks. There you go. There you go. Michael Pepper. There you go. They're rolling in now. There you go. Yeah. So he pretty much said, good artists copy, great artists steal, because when you think about all the ideas, like all these companies, most of these guys didn't even finish college, and they have no degree. But not to say that everyone stole someone's idea, but some of these guys just had an idea, and then when you have the funding and the backing, you get what you want out of it. Yeah. Yep. Crazy. So I got my appointment coming up here, guys. That's them calling me now. I appreciate it. I like to chat with you guys more, and I definitely, if you don't know, I started this stream by letting you guys know, hey, I have an appointment, but I'm going to stream until my appointment, and now I am off. I do have a new video coming out. I've got a new video coming out of this. This is the new. I'll show you in this video. I'm going to try to, man. I'm going to try to do, because I prefer to do a stream. It's so much easier and so much more relaxed. And I'm going to keep telling you, lower your expectations for these streams, because this is about, I'll do more, but, I'm not going to be going all like much. If you want to see 20 different camera angles, you need to go watch Eric. That dude's got a major studio. I have some good equipment in here, but he's got a super studio over there, and he will give you every angle. He's got the flashy setup. That's why I can watch him all day. I don't have the energy to do it. But I will try to do more streams. I'm going to try to do it once a week. I just don't want to set a time or an expectation. I love to be spontaneous, and I just think that's how it works. That way I can have more fun with it. But I do have the new product. I have the new tray from 2DF for Tesla. I'll be bringing that out soon. I've got some eye-blazing things in. I've got a ton of Galaxy S25 gear that I'll be showing you. And stay locked. And I'll do a 2-week follow-up, or however long I've had this phone. I don't know, soon. So be sure to stay locked. And I appreciate you guys. God bless you guys. I appreciate the super chats that are in there. And I will do my best to try to keep having fun, so that way I can keep doing content for you guys. So I'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed the setup. I just fired up my Sony a6100 and ran my camera. I was on my phone last time, and it was very difficult to keep reading the chat. So I just decided to use this expensive equipment that I have here that I've had from all the other streams, man. But I appreciate you guys. I'm going to end here, and I will see you hopefully next week with another impromptu live stream. I might get on someone else's stream if I do get on. I don't know yet, but I will see you guys, and I appreciate you taking the time out to come join your man Jay and chat for a little bit. Take care and look for more OnePlus content, obviously Galaxy S25 content, and more. I did get in. I told you guys I picked up a new car to the fleet, and that poll is hilarious, man. I will reveal that car. I just don't know if someone would want. I don't know how much car content I want to put on here, but I love cars and tech. I mean, my life is at a point where I can just, oh, it's so nice. I might show it because the car is really techy. So I might show it on here. I just have to determine if I want to do that or not. I don't like to share everything because then people start watching me like, ooh, I've pretty much shown too much by the current car lineup that I have that you know that I have already with the Corvette and all the other cars and stuff. And but we'll see. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.